Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from Ports Unknown. I hope everyone is doing well, and thank you for joining me and everyone who watches the broadcast after the live stream. But, oh my goodness, it seems like things are going by and nothing much is happening. But I believe a lot of things are happening behind the scenes. And Donald Trump is going to meet with Kim Jong-un, and he's also going to meet with President Xi of China. And what's going on with those countries that isn't being reported on mainstream media? They're worried about feminine hygiene products running low and the number of French fries on a plate and things like you know what I'm talking about, folks. They don't try to keep the pulse, okay, for the people. So anyway, we're going to talk about the fake news. So anyway, folks. What do? Oh, I've got on this. They don't give a damn about this country. That's a quote from Donald J. Trump. So I still misspelled it. But anyway, Donald Trump did say that. And who was he talking about? We'll get into that and a lot of other things. But what do? While people are filing into the chats, I play videos to give people time to get a nice cold brouhaha or a cup of coffee, or an adult beverage of your choice, whatever is your want. And then what will we do? We'll be like butter and get on a roll.
Dust on my Bible, flags on the line. You laughed at our warnings, called truth a crime. You sold us your secrets, wrapped up like hope. Signed all our futures with a poison note. You sat in your mansions, we prayed in the rain. You cast every favor on a ledger of pain. You thought you were covered, names on a list, private plain pages you swore don't exist. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. When the judge walks in, every bell gon' chime. Game over. You thought she was certain, thought he was too. Shook hands in the back room, said they'll never break through. You mocked every farmer, every steel-toed boo. Called him crazy and bitter while you buried the proof. Now screens start flashing, whole names, young kids, whole world scrolling through the things y'all did. Digital soldiers from the cornfields to Rome say leave our children alone or we're taking you home. Let's go! Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. When the judge walks in, every bell gon' chime. Game over. From the back roads to the big tall towers, patriots worldwide, this the final hour. You can beg, you can bargain, you can scream, you can hide, but the book's been written and your name's inside. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. Nothing's gonna stop what's already signed. Game over.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm they're talking about.
They
have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Well, think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. We will take care of it now that the gloves are off. Yeah, I wish I could take my gloves off and say what I want to say about some of this stuff, but I got to be careful, as you know, and you all know how to read between the lines. So, yeah, if you're new to the channel, I talk in puzzles sometimes, but if you're just listening, you can figure it out. It doesn't take a brain surgeon. Hi, Todd. How you doing? Nice to see you this evening. Who else is here? Wow, we got Tammy's here. Nice to see you. Sherry, Mac, Cole. Haha. So we got the whole younger gang here. Darla's here. All right. Canis Cleanup. Nice to see you. All right. Made it to alive. Mac is here. Yeah. Okie dokie. Sherry's here. Darla, Todd, Cole. And for new people, if you're like, you take too much time saying hi to people, I got to do it. They're my people, my peeps. Oh, did you hear that? Katie did it. Katie did just now. Big fat loud Katie. There it went again. We're going to be listening to a Katie did till Sadie tracks it down and devours it. But she's sleeping. She gets her dinner and goes to sleep. Where was I? Did any of y'all hear that Katie did? Let's see. Let me go back down the line here. How'd that thing get in? I leave the door open because it gets hot, man. Hi, Darla. Let's see. Rain's here. Linda's here. Wayne's here. Nice to see you, Wayne. Yes, a thumbs up would be nice. If you're thinking about it, go ahead and podge that like button. Give it a podge, P-O-D-G-E. I learned how to cipher that word a long time ago. Robert, nice to see you. Kim's here. Yeah, it's a mystery who sings that song. One day we'll solve it. Maybe he'll play at the White House. With a big television screen. Stanton, how you doing? Pappy Two Bears, how you doing? With big television screen showing all those flashes of the posts from the CUE posts, right? One of the first ones, if you slow it down and watch it in slow motion, Adam Schiff, traitor. That's what it says. Miss Mendersu, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Who am I missing here? Oh my goodness. Let's see. Bear with me, folks. Pappy Two Bears is here. Miss Brett's here. All right, so I guess we got everybody. If I missed anybody, you know I didn't mean to do it. But let's get on with the show. Man, they're running out of narratives. The mainstream media. Trump took him up for a nice tour of the improvements being done around the White House. I got some clips of that. And James Comey is in a hot seat, putting filings out, trying to get off the hook. But you're in North Carolina, boy. You're in North Carolina. You ain't up to Magic Kingdom. Things might not work out the way you want them to. And we got fraud popping up everywhere, criminal referrals going around about voter fraud. And we got a anti-corruption investigation going on in Ukraine that's resulting in a lot of resignations. I'll show you the latest one. And keep in mind about Zelensky. He stood by Trump during these so-called impeachment hearings. And his nemesis, our nemesis, the country's nemesis, Alexander Vindman, lost. Lost. We'll go over that, and it's funny. And I got some stuff about this woman that he lost to. And you can't shame these creeps. You can't shame them. But he ought to be ashamed of himself. He couldn't stand up even against a notorious open commie, right? But hey, you asked for it, you got it. So here's some good news. Do you all have any bad chi about Byron Donalds or any reservations? Representative Byron Donalds will win the GOP gubernatorial nomination in Florida. What's your all's notion about that? Do you have any compunction about Mr. Byron Donalds? And we got a lot of other ones, but I want to find this one about this goofy Alexander Vindman. I call him Tweedledum, and his brother is Tweedledummer. There is no Tweedledee in this equation, just Dumb and Dumber. So what are you going to do now, Alexander? He's the one that... Oh, I meant to play that Laura Logan video tonight because he's on there. And I didn't get a chance to... I'll get it next time. Anyway, let's see. Sandman, how you doing? Byron wants amnesty, Sherry said. Oh my goodness, where my chats go? Does he really? Sherry says Byron wants amnesty. Rubber Toe, how you doing? Is that true? Or is that just a rumor? A fear. Sparky, how you doing? Is that a supposition or a fear, or is it true? Because you see what that got Michael Lindell, right? I mean, he said that days before, really, really not right. But he's honest. He's honest. Unlike this creepo here. Robert Goya read every word of the pleadings, filings, responses concerning this character here. No serious dispute from the DOJ. No serious dispute. Comey's seashell post could read as a Trump threat. Could. It did. Everybody said, what the hell are you talking about? So anyway, he's trying to get everything swept aside, but it's not going to happen. He was indicted by a grand jury, wasn't he? So remember when Trump went through all his problems in Florida, and they hung their hat on? It was a grand jury. It was a grand jury that did it. And one of the foreperson of the grand jury was a Wiccan witch, and a former president of the United States still had to go to trial over that crap. So you got something better than that, Comey? Okay, Sherry says it's not true. Yeah, I mean, we can't afford all these people. We can't. Most of them are coming here, as Trump said at the Alamo, for the gravy. Flannel cheese is here. They're coming for the gravy. We only got so much gravy. But anyway, they were talking about where they're going through his past investigations to see if he ever referred to or had it placed before him about the term 86. Okay, so see if he had actual knowledge to bolster the notion that he had actual knowledge of its meaning. That is intended. A little mic problem. His intention was to do harm, or I would say to incite public hostility. Okay, and it certainly, in my mind, did that. So, whoops, I got stuff going off the screen I don't want off the screen. Wait a minute, what's going on here? There it is. Who missed roll call? Oh, ha ha ha. Is that the way I ought to do it? Like, hi, MS Motorsports. I'm reading your post there, KNS. Well, what's over before you get home? And it's gone before you get home. What's gone? Hi. Oh, wait a minute. Everybody's having trouble surviving. That's the design. The design is to keep everybody else. You know what I saw Rain put in, I think it was Rain, said, what are they up to, the evil ones or something like that, up to today? Well, they've been up to a lot for the last many decades, okay? They've alienated our youth. They've got the majority of young people, college graduates, thinking that communism was a secret hidden from them, that, oh, well, gee, everybody, each according to their ability and each according to their needs. It's simple. And we've allowed them to raise a pack of morons, self-righteous morons, who don't realize they're advocating for a ruling class to decide what your needs are, what your abilities are, and completely removes individual liberty from the equation. Oh, the money on groceries and weekly must-haves. That was the design. That was the design. Driving up housing and rental prices by bringing in tens of millions of illegals was by design. Devaluing the dollar by 25% at least while Biden was in office, by design. It's all, hey, life's too hard. The economy's too hard. And the billionaires are just taking too much. So trust us. Give us the power. And we'll make sure you have your basic needs, and these evil billionaires will be put in their place. Get it? See how it works? And it'll be the same damn thing like it was in China, like it was in Russia, like it was in Cuba. where you just living like a scrounge. Oh, somebody lost your baby? Somebody lost a puppy? Man, that's tough. That's hard to do. Oh, smoke in the morning. So anyway, it's called the treadmill or the hamster wheel. Either one. It's interchangeable. That's what they do. But what I was thinking about, what do you think about when you hear the Justice Department saying we're going to go through with AI Comey's case records, Comey's file, Comey's whatever, to see if he encountered the word or the term 86, okay? I'm really curious in chat. What do you think about? And I'll come back to look at your answers. Trump is calling out Alaska as you cogitate on the question I just had. Trump, Democrats using trickery. Democrat confusion. President Trump has accused Democrats of trickery over 2 registered Republicans with the same name running in Tuesday's U.S. Senate primary in Alaska. Yeah, I heard that there's going to be an investigation into electioneering, election rigging, right? Al Sharpton doesn't like that term. But anyway, yeah, well, where's that other picture? Here, where is it? Here's the one you're supposed to vote for right here. And it's his opponent right there. She got them psycho eyes. Senator Dan Sullivan. And Democrat former Representative Mary, what's her name? Peltola will advance to the general election in Alaska's Senate race. So somebody gets a wise idea to run 2 Republicans. CNN is pumping out the crap, ignoring the big stories. Democrat former Representative Mary Peltola will face a second Dan Sullivan could also be on the ballot. How much you want to bet he won't be? Trump also put the truth out about it. When I come across it, I'll put it up. Alaska, don't be fooled. I'm looking to see what does people think about when they hear the Department of Justice say they're going to go through Comey. Todd got it. And is he the only one? Yes. Todd is the only one. The autist. And like I said, that's not an insult. That is a compliment. Corny. Is this where it is going to be declassified or revealed? That somebody intentionally changed the font on a lot of records to avoid FOIA requests. When they typed in corny, that the eye only sees Comey. And that the algorithm searching to fulfill a FOIA request would not pick up the name Comey because it knows the fonts are spelling corny and it does not bring that paperwork forth for a FOIA or for a standard investigation. Is that obstruction of justice? Yes, it is in my book. So think about that stuff, folks. Yes, Tammy said hit the like button. Make sure you do. How many of you remember from the CUE posts about the corny revelation? And how many times did we see things from Nunes and Grassley. What did Grassley say? The corn is soon to be ready or something like that. So we were all excited about when is he going to get busted about the evasion of FOIA requests and, in my opinion right now, obstruction of justice. That's what I was thinking about. So they want to stop it in its tracks before that happens. Who's going to tip them off about the corny trick? Maybe Tony Bobolinsky. I don't know. Did you try typing in corny? But anyway, speaking of corny, they're always trying some little cheesy crap. And now they're not getting away with it. Here, let's see. Look at this. How many point spread is that? 23 points? That's a whooping. That's a whooping. You know, and it's still hard to believe that, I don't know. I don't know who this Collins guy is. What do you all know about him? I haven't heard much about him. I think Trump's always been with Byron Donaldson. Hopefully he does not have that predilection for amnesty, like so many people fall into this humanitarian BS. But here is, let's see, Florida again. There's Alexander Vindman. He put in millions. I think like 20 times her budget. Here it is. Florida's Democrat Senate primary fundraising. They call him Alex. I noticed that. When he was seeking his fame, everybody called him Alexander. Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman. Remember that? Now it's just Alex. 14.6 million. She had Angie Nixon, 625,000. She is a stone cold commie. Laura Loomer put up some stuff about her, and I'll put it up in a little bit. But anyway, that is a massive difference in money. And hey, if you puke people out, they're just not going to vote for you. I don't care what you spend. So, hi, Lori. Hi, Brush. How you doing? Have you been in Brush since I gave you a shout out last week for going by buy me a coffee? I do appreciate it. But I haven't seen you or Angela or Lele since you guys stopped by buy me a coffee. I'll make sure you all know you got a shout out. But anyway, he lost by 12 points. Is that right? Yeah. A whooping. So anyway, where is some of this stuff Laura Loomer put up? Like I said, when Laura Loomer gets on your case and you are a questionable individual, if there's any dirt, she's gonna find it, boy, and she's gonna put you on blast. The thing is anybody watching? Is anybody listening? So here, Citizen Free Press, I think, put this up. Might have been Diamond Silk. Ilhan Omar, she's happy over Angie Nixon, who beat Chuck Schumer-backed Alex Vindman in Florida last night. The Senate Democrats now belong to the Islamic communists. Here's Ilhan Omar. Congratulations, Angie Nixon. We are so proud of you, and we can't wait for you to be the next senator of Florida. Democrats need to unite and send a message. There you go. Ilhan Omar. You're a real piece of work, Alexander. If you can't handle something like her. Where's that Laura Loomis stuff at? Let me see. I'm trying to find it. Here's a video she put up. So, you know, this Nixon woman here, she's giving an interview. And it's got undertones of being a little rowdy, you know, not like Trump said, you know, fight by marching and patriotically doing it. No. She's like, I'll let you listen to her.
Trump has weaponized ICE and created his own paramilitary force that is designed to evoke fear in communities and to terrorize us. And we know that he's going to use this paramilitary force to actually try to make us fearful during campaign seasons, right? We need to send people up there who are going to push back and not allow this to continue to happen.
Absolutely agree. I 100% agree. And you are such a trailblazer in this moment in time. And we appreciate you so much.
Yeah, ICE is a paramilitary police force Donald Trump has weaponized, and we got to push back, interfere with law enforcement. Yeah, right. And she's a trailblazer. Boy, if that term hadn't been around too damn long. But anyway, let me see. Is this it? Yeah, here it is. Here's Laura Loomer. Angie Nixon bragged on her X account about taking her daughter to see half naked men pretending to be women, posting, "I've taken my teenage daughter to drag shows before." Nixon also rage posted about June's United States Supreme Court ruling stating men can be banned from women's sports. Americans should be deeply concerned with Nixon's crazy policies. So she put up a couple of her own posts. Let's see. Here we go. This is what you lost to, Alex. Here, I've taken my teenage daughter to drag show before. Ron DeSantis is literally trying to eliminate Black history. What's drag shows got to do with Black history? And push out our alphabet friends. I know what's appropriate for my child. Oh, you do? And this is taking away my parental rights. Literally, the show is just folks dancing in cute outfits. Oh, my God. Remember me talking about that where the trans community kept using the term folks? We're just folksy folks. We're just folks like you folks. Yeah. Here she is again. No child deserves to be bullied or left out. But today's ruling puts trans kids, young girls, and women athletes in harm's way. Oh, like when they get their teeth knocked out by somebody dressed like a girl, but really a man. Didn't we see that one girl lost her teeth when she got hit in the face with a volleyball? Whacked at 90 miles an hour? Opening the door to invasive exams and unfair profiling, especially for Black women and girls. What a disgrace. How can you equate that to the entire Black community? And I'm sure that has got people worked up. PO'd. I would be PO'd. Oh, you're going to see a lot of this. ABC, CNN, all of them coordinated about Donald Trump voting by mail. President Trump casts mail ballot again in Florida despite efforts to restrict mail voting. Well, you idiots. He's the president of the United States. He's got issues going on all around the world. He's responsible for the safety of the nation. He's working in Washington, D.C. He's serving the country. And there's exceptions for that in mail-in ballots. Certainly the president of the United States will qualify, but you'll see it over and over and over again. You know, who was that one that Crowley lost to the... Crowley won over that neurotic Asian woman named Horn. But anyway, they figured out that he won by 1 vote per precinct. There's like 20, I don't know the number, 2,700, maybe, I don't know. But I saw a report where they said he won by 1 vote per precinct. So the Democrat machine was so desperate to keep her out. She was even more wacky than this Nixon woman. That they had to use their own tactics on themselves. Speaking of tactics, here you got widely shared poll results for LA mayoral race were fake, polling firm says. How many times you heard that from Donald Trump about fake polls? And he said it should be a criminal matter, taken up as criminal. Push polls. A widely shared poll that showed Mayor Karen Bass leading City Councilwoman Nithya Raman by nearly 12 percentage points ahead of the November 3rd mayoral runoff was fake. Do you think they disclosed this because they just felt like it? The polling company itself said, oh, well, this is just fake. Well, here you go. Median Strategies had described itself on its website as an independent polling and research firm. On Monday, the company acknowledged that it had produced a fake poll as part of a, quote, short-term social experiment, unquote, according to a message on its website. Do you think they wanted to do that? No. I think they got presented with the very real possibility of being charged for election interference. You know, what is this one? Oh, I think this is another clip of this Nixon woman. What's this guy? Roland, what's his face? They caught him. He was on his computer, and it was at his computer was at some gay website or something, and he didn't realize he was online. But anyway, he was just doing exploratory research. Okay, but anyway, here's another clip of Angie Nixon talking to this Roland Martin is his name.
What are the issues that you're highlighting? What is getting the attention of Florida voters? What are you focused on?
Yeah, so as I travel all across the state of Florida, I hear the same thing, right? It is people can no longer afford to be alive, right?
People can't afford to be alive. Well, if you are of a certain class and you just show up and stick your hand out, you get all kinds of benefits. Don't have to do a damn thing but sit home and watch The View. The View. But you know, I got this clip, and guess how long it is? Just to put it in perspective, how long we have been in the trenches, how long we have been engaged. And you see the boy there, and you see him almost 10 years later on the right. Remember me? Dan Serino put a post up that this young man is coming to the White House. And remember this moment. Before the 2016 election, he had this young man in his arms.
Do you want to go back to them, or do you want to stay with Donald Trump?
Trump.
So remember when I was talking about generations? When I would talk to people, grown men, and then I sat and thought about it. When Obama started his bastardization of our school system, his bastardization of our access to adult content with minors by giving them all free phones that were the gateway for any weirdo or creep to access your child and corrupt their minds, was back in 2008, okay? And then you do the math as far as the years go, and how somebody 12 years old, 13 years old, whatever, now they're grown and they have Marxist philosophy. They have no principles. They have no morals. And that was when Andrew Tate was taken off too, teaching young men a bunch of filthy nonsense about how to treat women. And he got the keys to their bedrooms when the parents go to sleep and the kids are on the interwebs. Characters like that, filth and garbage and hedonism, entering the minds of our children. And then you realize, yeah, I'm talking to somebody that's 25 now, and they're talking like a lunatic in my mind. But wait a minute. Look what was done to them. Illegal psychological warfare campaign. So anyway, yeah, Roland Martin from Laughing. Ha ha, yeah, that's a good one, Todd. Oh, I don't know what's the matter with the face. So anyway, Karen Bass, let me play this for you all. Is this even legal? Let me find it. It's hard to miss this video with her, that face. Here, how can you miss this video? Look at that face. Talking about what's wrong with the face. She looks kind of like got the corners of a mouth like the Joker, right? Doesn't she? But anyway, here she's saying the city will match, correct me if I'm wrong after you listen to it. Am I right or wrong? She's saying the city will match a donation times 6. If you donate to her campaign, the city of Los Angeles will put in 6 times the amount. Is that how? That can't be legal.
Your donation to our campaign is more critical right now than ever before. Let me explain. Thanks to LA's Supermatch program, every qualified donation from Los Angeles residents is matched 6-1 by the city. But after the primary, we had to start over from scratch. So we need you to rush your matching donation right now to help fuel this campaign. Chip in $5 right now, and the city turns it into $35. Chip in $25 right now, and the city turns it into $175. Make your matching donation today. Thank you so much.
So the taxpayers in Los Angeles are footing the bill for matching donations for Karen Bass. And don't forget, Donald Trump had his eye on her election. And, he is in a good mood. Overall, he is in a good mood. And I've used the term in the past. Catbird seat. He's in the catbird seat. So I don't know, we'll let it keep going. But who put this up? Right here. Speaking about time, folks, time. Department of War. Sorry to keep you waiting, Patriots. Complicated business. And they posted this. This was either yesterday afternoon or this morning. Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business. What does that remind you of? I know what it reminds me of. I'm just trying to follow the intricate webs, not the tangle web, the intricate webs of the whole operation. It reminds me, I give people time, there's a delay, because Todd did guess corny, right? Corny. But hi, Melvita from Alamo, Georgia. We get any newbies in that want to argue with me, leave them alone. Let me get a hold of them. Ha ha ha. But anyway, it reminds me of election night, 2016, when Trump came out on the stage and said, at 3 a.m, sorry folks, but this is some very complicated business. Sorry it took so long. This is some very complicated business. Y'all remember that? I was up for it. I was mad as heck because the election was over at 9 p.m. I could have been getting my beauty sleep much, much needed back then. Now it's not even, an issue. Hi, Greg. How you doing? I ain't no amount of sleep can take care of this, but time, how much time it took. We're seeing this kid turning into a young adult, and Donald Trump was holding him up in his arms. Trump, I want to stay with Trump. And now he's a teenager. And here we are. Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business. That's the exact words Donald Trump used on election night. Do you all recall that? Am I right? Does it ring a bell? And when did he say that? After Hillary conceded. After Hillary cried uncle. And so you see the military in the background. So anyway, I said it was going to be a long march. I said it years ago. Don't let clickbaiters get you on the edge of your seat every night and damage your psyche and your physical health. I said earlier in the broadcast stuff was going on all around the world. Who's this happy person? Look who's underneath there. Zelensky. Boy, doesn't she look happy. Oh, boy. Better not leave your socks on the floor if you're living with her. CNN just acknowledged. That's not the right. Wait, I'll get to that in a minute. I got to get to this one about this woman. Here we go. A new crisis is brewing in Ukraine. Zelensky urgently dismisses Deputy Head of Office Irina Mudraya. Sounds right. What happened? The National Anti-Corruption Bureau, NABU. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up, folks, not to get into foreign country minutia. Don't let your friends, or even your not so good friends, forget about Biden firing the prosecutor and getting $900,000, almost a cool million in his bank account that Rudy Giuliani traced through Lithuania. And we have Biden on tape saying we got the prosecutor fired, and Metabiota and all the other stuff. It all falls under the umbrella of corruption. And don't forget about, your mind's got to expand. Don't forget about treaties where we're obligated. We're obligated to respond and assist other countries that have had crimes committed against them. The National Anti-Corruption Bureau and the Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office have uncovered new corruption scandals in the post office of the president of Ukraine. An investigation is underway against a criminal organization involving current and former members of parliament, as well as high-ranking officials in the office of the president. That would be Zelensky. Deputy head of the office is suspected of establishing a control over the state-owned Sense Bank and using the bank's reserves as collateral for the former minister Galushenko, who was involved in the case of Timur Mindich. In one of the recordings, Irina says, he says corruption needs to be systemized and controlled, not fought. The voice on the end of the recording replies, and headed. So there they are. We need to get somebody to head up a systemized and controlled form of corruption. After Nabu published the recordings, which revealed her involvement, Zelensky urgently dismissed Irina Mudraya from her position as deputy head of the office. Now, searches are currently ongoing in the office of the president. Where is Zelensky? Is he in Ukraine? Did he buy King Charles's boyhood home for purposes of exile? I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know. I'm just asking. Let me see if this is an extension of the article. No, it's a different subject. Different subject I'll get to later. So, keeping in mind, there's these corruption investigations going on all over Hell's Half Acre. Okay. And election fraud being exposed all over the damn place. Many different operations going on simultaneously. It's like an orchestrated push to expose this stuff. And we got to keep our minds tuned to it. Look at the games they play in Florida. How desperate they were to keep their old guard in there. Would you say Debbie Wasserman Schultz is the old guard? Of course she is. What was she involved in? What was the big thing she was involved in? Her and Donna Brazil. Well, look at the trick they played. She had an opponent, I don't know if it was Wholeness or Manly, that was a threat. Apparently, her approval was around 45%, which is what she got in the vote. So what did they do? They said her district is heavily black. The constituency is heavily people of color, okay? They split the vote. Just like they're trying to do in Alaska with two Sullivans. Okay? So one of these two were a Wasserman Schultz plant. to cripple a viable opponent that would have knocked her out of the primary. And it's so blatant and so obvious. So is something good to come of this? Oh, you can't do anything about it because it's our party rules. You can't say anything about our party rules. Well, no, cheating in elections is cheating in elections. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But with the Ukraine thing, who has teamed up with Vladimir Putin? Before I put anything on the screen, hi, Melvita. I'm asking the chats, who has teamed up with Vladimir Putin? Oh, Miss Sue. You lost your puppy? I'm trying to look through the chats, see what's going on. All right. Grits with butter and cheese. That'd make me hungry. I got some grits over at I got to get them. I got me some sharp cheddar cheese and a pound of butter today. I got to get my grits out and have that in the morning with my eggs. Aha! There you go, Miss Sue. Yeah. But you need to that's right. You just put an R in there. That's good. You hear my crickets, Melvita? I had a katydid in here making a big racket, but I think it heard me talk about Sadie devouring it. And it got quiet. Yeah, about the so-called DNC hack. They claimed their computers were hacked, and that got the FBI to run cover for them. And then a young man named Seth, and his last name was Rich. And I break it apart because I get in trouble for saying the name, and that all leads to John Podesta and his creepy texts about the first word is wet, and the next word is works. Oh, MS Motorsports. Okay, Greg, I see it. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I talked about it before. Losing a puppy, losing your little baby after years and years is hard. So, yeah. Anyway, who's teaming up with Russia? This is all. It doesn't seem big now, folks. Yeah, that's right, Todd. She claimed to be black. Maybe that's why she won. Who's teaming up with Russia, folks? Da, da, da. I got to put a picture up here in a minute. While you're thinking, I'm looking through my quiver here of things I can put up. Who's teaming up with Ruski Land? Namely, things are being forced to a conclusion. Okay, and I'm prove it to you. I'm gonna prove it to you. Teaming up with Russia? No, Germany would not team up with Russia, Robert. They're chomping at the bit for something happening so they can go to war. The leaders of Germany, not the German people. Kim got it. North Korea. I've got some ballistic missile footage, and some of them are from Kim Jong-un. Trump says he intends to meet with Kim Jong-un this year, in November. And the meeting with Xi is in, I believe, September. Remember, Kim Jong-un sent thousands of troops as mercenaries And Russia paid per troop to Kim Jong-un. And if they didn't make it back, remember that picture I put up where he was giving the families of KIA individuals, giving them free apartments. And they've been involved with the war for some time. President Donald Trump says he intends to meet later this year with Kim Jong-un, claiming he gets along well with the North Korean leader. You know, and then you got the lefties going, oh yeah, he gets along with dictators because he's a dictator. You know, stupid crap like that. Their stuff they're posting is weak sauce. Anyway, here is a reports that are coming out of Ruski land. Russia is carrying out a massive missile attack on Kiev. This was about 2 hours before I went live, folks. More than 25 missiles have struck Kiev, including Iskander and ballistic missiles. Allegedly, here we go, North Korean KN-23 ballistic missiles and 3 M22 Zircon hypersonic cruise missiles. We've seen video of that, and they are fast. Additionally, Tu-95Ms and Tu-160 strategic bombers launched KH-101 cruise missiles via Buyan M-class corvette. That's on the water, a ship. Launched several 3M14 caliber cruise missiles, which are expected to enter Ukrainian airspace soon. So this is what they posted. They called it a Iskander double tap. A double tap.
Снимай, мне потом скинешь. Ого, смотри.
Oh, it didn't show the second missile coming in. Here, let me play this version. That might have been one of the Korean missiles. I had footage of a Korean missile and a double tap. Let me see. You'll see a second missile come in. Whatever was there, they wanted it gone. Whatever it was.
О, нихуя себе. Я это тоже снял, да. Ну это мощная хуйня. О, еще летит. Пух нахуй. Я это тоже снял.
Yeah, I think the Ruskies got that lingo from Hegseth. From Hegseth there's the first one. And the second one is almost right on the button. Almost right on the button. Here we go. There it is. Boom. Yeah. You wouldn't do two of those if you... I don't know what was there. I mean, but whatever it was is probably not there anymore, wouldn't you say? So anyway, the other clip was a... reportedly a North Korean ballistic missile. So there is bombing going on right now. And then after that, another report came in. Around 40 KAH-101 cruise missiles were launched by Tu-95Ms and Tu-160 strategic bombers and are expected to enter Ukrainian airspace within the next 90 minutes. And that was, this was about 2 hours before I went live, so they've already landed. You know, and the footage I showed you was already posted. So this is other bombs going off. So the pressure is mounting on Ukraine. And they've got internal corruption probes and people being arrested, people being forced to resign. And you have North Korea picking up the pace and getting involved. And Donald Trump is, as I said in my title, he's standing pat with Iran and pretty much goading them, you know. Where's that post he put up? About a U.S. territory, being a U.S. territory. Here it is. New U.S. territory. And, you know, whether or not he's just doing it to ruffle their feathers and make them angry. Talk about weak sauce, a weak retort. Where is that? Iran put this up. Iran in Hyderabad. Where's Iran in Hyderabad? Where's Hyderabad? New territory of the Islamic Republic of Iran. And he made California blue. Now, if you'd have done that with Michigan, I'd be a little more concerned. Okay? But anyway, the Ruskies are reporting on it. The American television channel CNN. Would you really call it an American television channel? By reposting a satirical message about Iran's claim to California, mocked the statement by the U.S. president regarding the Strait of Hormuz. Well, California doesn't have a blockade around it, and you do. Okay. So nanny, boo-boo. So anyway, he's going to do the Python strategy and just tighten the grip. Oh, and don't forget this. Our domestic investigation with Comey, Fauci, and these fraudulent election referrals. And was the governor of New Jersey caved in and said that they're going to hand over the voter rolls? Do you think they did that just because they said, oh, you know, we ought to get along? No, they did it because they were told they were going to get arrested. That's my thoughts on the matter. They're given the information because they were told they would be put in jail for interfering with election security. Breaking ex-Fauci aide pleads guilty. Conspiracy to evade COVID-19 public records request. You know, these people don't have to be part of some demonic hierarchy, you know. They don't have to go to rituals. That's the top people. The lower people. This guy was bought off for like a case of cheap wine. He wanted to be a part of it. Just like that loser Olympian wants to be a part of it. What would compel somebody to put themselves in jeopardy of federal charges and going to jail by doing what that so-called Olympian did? They're playing on rage that they've installed in these people's minds. And it's self-replicating, expanding. Oh my God. She did get a facelift. She did pay for 2 cranes. Yeah, take you a second to say, who is this? Now, if this clip gets taken down, you know I got in trouble. Sedona, how are you doing? Nice to meet you. Make some friends, learn our chat tricks, you know. Sensitive words, you misspell them. And you use numbers for letters like O for zeros and 4s for A's if you're putting in words that might get the YouTube eyeballs crossed. But anyway, this is Rosie O'Donnell. And who's she taking over for? Jimmy Kimmel. Is that right? He's on vacation. Vacation from what? He ain't a comedian. But here we go. Yeah, she got money lined up before she came back. She already cut that deal with ABC and The View, and also with this lunatic bunch here. So she's filling in.
Thank you. Sit, relax. Oh, boy, it's great to be back. They said you can't come home again, but here I am. And if you thought the president hated Jimmy Kimmel Live when it was hosted by Jimmy Kimmel, buckle up, people, buckle up. Welcome to the show. I am your guest host, Rosie O'Donnell, and if you're wondering...
Good time to cut it off. No, we're not wondering. We're not wondering. But anyway. Holy cow. Elton John's cast off. Yeah. All right, Greg, don't work too hard, buddy. Make sure you listen to the replay. What is she wearing? I don't know. Curtains. It looked like somebody sewed some curtains together for her. But anyway, here, I'll go ahead and play this. Jesse Waters got a hold of the Fang files. I was going to play in my intro, Swalwell Breaking Wind, but I just wasn't up for it tonight. But anyway, this is on top of everything we're talking about, folks. We got international investigations. We got investigations going on, foreign and domestic. Okay? So anyway, here we go. Jesse Waters, Fang files.
Fox News Alert, we got our hands on the Fang files. For years, Swalwell's been accused of sleeping with the enemy, Chinese spy, and he denied every ounce of it.
Did you have any concerns about this person before you had what's known as a defensive briefing from the FBI to make you aware of this threat?
No, Jim, I was shocked when, just over 6 years ago, I was told about this individual, and then I offered to help. The story says that, there was never a suspicion of wrongdoing on my part.
Now he's eating his words. New bombshell documents, declassified by the White House, show the FBI interviewed Swalwell back in 2015. That was Obama's FBI. And he admitted to a physical relationship with the Fangster multiple times. They first met in the fall of 2012. He called her a striking individual. Went out for a drink a few weeks later before things turned physical. He said it was just casual. They never formally dated. But Eric said Fang wanted to do more than just hang. He told the FBI about a time that they hooked up before he was elected to Congress. Swalwell said she showed up late at night. Fang banged on his door. He let her in. She left a few hours later. He said he'd taken an Ambien beforehand, so he couldn't remember much. Did he light any candles? Well, Eric couldn't say. The spy sex wasn't a secret. Swalwell's staff knew all about it. One aide told the FBI he heard Fang would show up to Swalwell's door and make it clear she wasn't wearing any underwear. But it wasn't just sex. The FBI opened an investigation into possible illegal donations to his campaign. The name of the investigation? Freshman 15. Looking into whether illegal campaign donations were being traded for internships and access to Swalwell. Fang was in the country on a student visa. She couldn't legally donate to his campaign herself. So they investigated her for orchestrating a straw donor scheme. And their financial analysis flagged 4 successful cash movements within a year. The FBI also intercepted intelligence that Fang was offering favors for donations. Yeah. She reportedly guaranteed a private meeting with Swalwell for $5,000 and said she could land you an internship in his office for a steeper price. According to an FBI interview, She referred to
student she called her sister.
So he's, if I'm right, they said at the end of their so-called report that he didn't break any laws, but she did. How can that be? How can he not know about her selling a visit for $5,000? And so these agents that did this checking in on Swalwell need to be looked at.
And that student was hired and worked on Swalwell's campaign for a year and a half, knocking on doors and researching people Swalwell was about to meet. She had access to every single donor record. Now, in the document, Swalwell says he had nothing to do with the hiring. All he did was forward Fang Fang's referrals. But the FBI always had its eye on the spy. A memo identified both of her parents as Chinese intelligence officers. And in the summer of 2013, an undercover officer tried to flip her, recruit her as a double agent. Fang Fang's official FBI nickname, Rusty Thumbs. She bragged that she used her sexuality to exploit politicians. She knew she was young and knew she was pretty and knew she could get away with it. But the FBI must have slipped up because Fang Fang smelled a rat and cut off all communication. She got spooked and fled to China, never came back. James Comey never pursued her. And the DOJ closed the investigation. Jack Smith decided not to prosecute her. And yeah, that's the same Jack Smith who tried to put Trump in prison.
Ooh, man. What is it with these damn liberals? They can't see what's right in front of their face. But we keep pushing it out there to them. This is the kind of crap they come up with, the left. All this stuff we're dumping out there, Midas trash. Pre-order our new book, WTF America, today. And they put their moniker on this stupid meme. Who the hell would think that this is funny? And putting in a quote and saying at the bottom is from Anonymous. Trump's nickname when he hides in a catering cart should be Orange Chicken. What a pack of nerds. That's not even a little bit funny. Who's giving them money? Well, I got something else they put up. Wait a minute. I'll get to it in a minute. This is what CNN's putting up. I saw this today. I said, what? 12 hours ago. Well, it should be about 18 hours now. They put this up earlier today. Trump has failed us. Air Force Major calls for president's impeachment. I said, what the hell did I miss? I didn't miss nothing. They got so little going on that they're digging up an old story. An old story about some creep who stood on the steps of some government building. Do y'all remember this? And I think he's in trouble for using his uniform in a political situation. Oh, I clipped some stuff. I got to find it. Do you all remember, who in the chats remembers this guy? What was this, like almost 2 months ago or a month and a half ago? And they're recycling it, having him on as a guest. And he's going to be facing discipline. Oh, I find him. I'll put him up later. But anyway, they're recycling old stories. Nobody cares about. Who cares what he thinks? You don't remember? Ella doesn't remember. Oh, when I find it, I'll put it up. And this is the kind of memes they're putting out. How to deal with Iran. And they're insane. The bottom line, and my comment underneath this so-called meme, was Obama is a Marxist Muslim. Okay? And he is aligned with the Muslim Brotherhood. He knew they were going to be working on a nuclear deal. They were weeks away. They admitted it. And it wasn't because of Trump. Here, speaking of Trump, I told Congressman Corey Mills of Florida, a friend of mine, to get out of the race, but he wouldn't listen. He thought he could win, so who can blame him? We have a great candidate, Ryan Elijah, running in his place. Ryan stands for everything MAGA and is respected by all. He has my complete and total endorsement, Donald J. Trump. Corey Mills, correct me if I'm wrong, he voted against censuring or punishing Ilhan Omar. Am I right? Because I believe that is why he's not going anywhere. Why he's heading home. Trump said, "No one has given the Islamic Republic of Iran a greater opportunity to make a deal than me. Tragically, for them, they've failed to take it. Therefore, today I'm announcing the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country. This will be the economic warfare and isolation on an unprecedented scale." That's why I put in my title, Iran Isolated. Their navy is gone, their air force is destroyed, and their military factories are now rubble. Their currency is worthless, and their country is hanging by a thread. Today, I'm also announcing that any country that allows its financial institutions, businesses, airports, or government entities to provide any type of lifeline to Iran will itself face tremendous economic consequences. He's given a message to Xi, who's coming in September. Oil smuggling, swap lines, cash transfer, exchange houses, ship registries, front companies. It all needs to stop now. You know who you are. This will be an economic D-Day. And we need all of our allies to stand with the United States of America to isolate and defeat the Iran threat. These maniacs are on the ropes, and these historic measures will cripple them and their ability to project terror worldwide. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump. Well, Iran put out a statement. Iran does not need a temporary ceasefire with the United States. Iranian foreign minister. Well, Trump's not going to go after you unless you do something like you did where we had to bomb you for damn near a month straight. So they're farting around like trying to bomb United Arab Emirates. And they're getting locked out. Here, Diamond Silk put this up. Just in, Iran loses its economic lifeline. The UAE has suspended all commercial exchanges, cutting off one of Iran's two critical economic lifelines. And there were 2 missiles shot at the United Arab Emirates, and they protested. And Iran came out and said, we didn't do it. I checked with the military. They said they didn't do it, so they're trying to wiggle out of it, but it's too late. And Trump I believe he put his statement out after the UAE cut their ties with Iran. The most gratifying loss last night was that of a real treasonous creep, Alexander Vindman, to a radical left lunatic who can't speak or think properly and will go down to certain defeat at the hands of Ashley Moody, a truly fantastic senator from the great state of Florida. Vindman, if you remember, was the one who lied about my perfect call with President Zelensky of Ukraine, only to find out that the conversation was routinely recorded and proved I was 100% in the right, completely innocent. It was indeed a perfect call, and the Democrats' fake impeachment effort massively failed. Vindman should be prosecuted for what he did. President Donald J. Trump. And I seem to remember in my dusty memory banks that Vindman admitted in the congressional record that he attempted to change the transcript. His excuse was something like what was written down didn't really reflect the tone or some stupid little. No, you don't screw around with White House transcripts, buddy. Oh, God. I put it up, might as well read it. More and more bills are being introduced in the House of Representatives that have been generated by artificial intelligence, forcing congressional lawyers to correct proposals containing legal errors, incorrect citations, and vague or overly complex language, according to Politico. Namely, a bunch of liberal gibberish that doesn't amount to nothing. The House of Representatives Legislative Review Office is spending more time correcting some AI-generated bills than it would take to draft them from scratch, further increasing their already heavy workload. Well, we're getting a lot of these young representatives in that don't even know how to read and write. Their staff don't know how to spell. Errors creeping into bills can delay the passage of laws, lead to lawsuits, or create ambiguous laws that are difficult for courts and federal agencies to interpret. And let me add to that. It would contribute to conservatives being persecuted and a bunch of judges that are sympathetic to Marxist ideology going along with that persecution. This is happening as congressional staff and outside organizations increasingly turn to tools like ChatGPT and Claude to create legislative language. Well, you just say, no, we don't accept that, and penalize the office somehow if they keep pumping out a bunch of crap. CNN has just acknowledged that due to redistricting effort by the Republican Party, the Democrats will need to win the national popular vote in 2026 by a margin of 3 to 4 percentage points to have a chance to gain control of the House of Representatives with the current district boundaries. They say they would need to win by less than 1 percentage point. But now, after redistricting, look at this. Democrats need to win by a margin of 3 to 4 percentage points. Democrats can't just win by a small margin to regain control of the House. Well, that's good news, because we're uncovering all the illegal voters. Now we just got to get the dead voters and all the other ways they cheat. Here's Harry Hinton. How can they minus 25 since the midterms from Trump's first term.
The Democratic brand. You know, Donald Trump's political brand ain't too hot to trot these days. But I got to tell you, PU, when it comes to the Democratic brand, the net favorability rating of the Democratic Party. You know, back in 2018, when Democrats, during the first Trump presidency, right, when they were able to win back control of the House, they were even. They were even, right? Favorable minus unfavorable, even at 0-0-0. Now look at this. 25 points underwater. Oof. Oof. You know, the Dem brand, as I said, it's not too good these days. It's not too good. It kind of smells like a...
I forget what he said it smelled like. It don't smell good, I'll tell you that. I put a link in the chats for Buy Me a Coffee. Who got here? Oh, Sissy just got here. Hi, Sissy. So anyway, I don't have much to report other than Wayne and Younger Gang from the other night going by Buy Me a Coffee. But this is a totally viewer-supported channel, and I do appreciate everybody who goes by there. And like I said, if you want to check I'll do a boom, even though nothing's going on. Other than, like I said, Wayne and pow, there's Wayne and Younger Gang, boom. I do appreciate your help. And if you want to go by there and check the page out and see what's going on, and if you want to help an old man out, help support the channel. I'm not monetized on YouTube, and your support is greatly appreciated. So anyway, I told you I was going to play some videos of Donald Trump at the, I wish I could have got a clip. This is where, now he didn't say it in this clip, but during this press conference, he was talking about this group that is suing to stop the ballroom. I might get that clip for a later broadcast. He said that the military secrets should never have been revealed. The case should have never been heard. They're a phony bunch. They have nothing to do with the federal government, and they don't give a damn about this country. But anyway, here he is. He's standing on the helipad where, when it comes down, where he's standing will be the Great Seal of the United States. Okay, they haven't laid it yet. And he's putting some coins on the back of one of the pieces of the eagle head for the Great Seal. And also he's signing it.
These people are a big part of it. So all these workers, I've watched them from windows, and they are working at 6 in the morning till 12 o'clock in the night. Same thing with the military complex right over here. They're working from 6:30 in the morning is late. If they get at 6:30, that's like almost late. And they work till 11:30, 12 o'clock every night. That's why you see it going up so fast, so properly. But I want to give a lot of credit to the construction crews, because there's nobody like them. There's nobody like them. Great job.
So he's putting his signature and those coins on the back of the stone, this granite, which is supposed to, I think Trump said it had a million-year, projected million-year projected lifespan. And he said, you know, the only way they really see these coins are my signature. He said, I hate to think about why they would need to pull this up. But anyway, he didn't say that here, but here he is signing it.
I hope this is a good one. This had better be a good one. Even though, in theory, I don't know if anyone's ever going to see it again. That's a beautiful cut. Hey, maybe we should reverse it. Let it stay up. I like it better than what's on the other. That's pretty great, huh? Oh, that's good. That looks pretty good. I think we should use this side. We're using the wrong side. We're flipping it. What do you think? Can we use this? Is that good? I'll tell you what. That's good. Come on, Brett, sign this. Any way you want. Better be under my name now. I'll put it under your name. Right. Nice. Talented guy. Jared, come on. Give us Clark Construction, head of Clark. Come on over here, John.
That's granite, and they're going to flip that. It's going to be like a time capsule. So after he spent time with the press, he's got energy. He's focused, and I think he's very relaxed. What do you all think? But anyway, he gave a press conference, and I think here he's talking about Biden and China. Okay. Who's he got there? I don't see Scott Bessent, but anyway, he talks here about cryptocurrency, data centers. I've got different clips that I'll play for you. Term limits, things of that nature.
Under the crooked Joe Biden administration, the spirit of innovation that built America was under serious attack like never before, and nowhere is that more true than crypto and other new financial technologies, where we were going to be taken to the cleaners by China and other countries. The radical left tried to crush these developments with crippling regulations, brutal restrictions, weaponization. They used weaponization, political weaponization, and constant targeting that drove innovation overseas, and they wanted to drive it out.
Yeah, well, you're right. The MSM gets under his skin. Todd, that's correct, because it's like he said, how can we be great again if we got a crooked press? Kind of hard. But anyway, here he's addressing term limits. And I said in the past, I'm not too crazy about them, because I've had people, representatives, people in different levels of government that were elected, that I wanted them to stay. I mean, they knew what was going on. They were honest. And to force them out. But the thing that I really leery of term limits, especially with the Senate, is if somebody is can only serve 2 terms, they win the second term, right? They served 6 years. They win a second term, and they know they got to go. They know they got to go, right? They're very vulnerable to bribes. What do they care? They don't got to make the people happy again. They can do whatever they want. They're a dead duck. See what I'm saying, folks? So it'd be a lot easier to get in on them than if they had to answer to the people. They got a 6-year ride where you got to get a crowbar to pry them out, and they're not obligated to anybody. Hi, Bam Animations. How you doing? I'll call you Bam. Oh, well, you're talking about Gaza. All right, well, I got a little something on Kushner. Stay on subject for me, Bam Animations, and make some friends in the chats. Okay? I'm going to play some Trump clips, but that's my opinion on term limits. Ideally, I would say that the Senate needs to go back to the way it used to be, where your state representatives picks the senator, not direct election, because they're too easily corrupted, these direct elections. But I'm going to play this video. I almost got rid of the video before I played it. Anyway, tell me what you all think. And don't be knee-jerk about it. Oh, we need term limits. No. If we got somebody good and somebody experienced and we want to keep them, we should be able to keep them. Trump says here, term limits are elections. The incomplete part of that position, in my mind, is fair elections and true and real elections, not fraudulent, are where we, the people, limit the term.
Beautiful way. It's really very positive. Okay, thank you.
A little off topic. So you mentioned Joe Biden and some of the past leadership, and it's been about 69 days since we've seen Mitch McConnell. Sometimes when you look at Congress, it looks like the cast of Cocoon. But I read a Cindy Adams column in the New York Post recently, and she talked about how we need term limits and someone needs to hold Congress accountable. Maybe you should be the person to do it. Would you support term limits for Congress or some type of cognitive testing? Because maybe if we had that the last 4 years, we wouldn't have ended up in some of these messes.
So term limits are very popular with the public. I've seen it both ways. I've seen where people go in and they get termed out, and they're very talented, and they're at the height of their career, you know, politicians, and you end up with total rookies in there, nothing gets done. And I've seen it the other way, where people are there too long. We see that all the time. I see both. I always like to say that a term limit is an election. You know, the public's pretty smart. You see that last night. We had some great success last night. The Republican Party had tremendous success last night. But I like to say that term limits should be elections. But I'm okay with term limits. Remember, the people that have to pass term limits are the people that are going to be voting on them to get out of office. So it's a little bit tough. That's not the easiest vote to get, is it, huh? But I'm okay with it one way or the other. I do think elections really term people.
Yeah, elections should be the term limits. But with a crooked press and crooked elections, you can't really have term limits. So we need to straighten that out. So anyway, here's the another clip of Donald J. Trump. And you know, I think I showed you all those memes where he put up Trump 2028 day before yesterday. You never know. But anyway, everybody that's against data centers, listen to what he's saying. And remember what I said. Who is against data centers and who's for them? That's how you make the best decision about that. Come on.
It's going to create success. It's going to create tremendous innovation, medical. I mean, they're coming up with already, amazingly, they came out with something today that I looked at it having to do, I won't go into the details, but having to do it with a pretty unstoppable disease. And all of a sudden they're coming up with answers that they never thought were possible and things that they never even would have thought about. So I think it's really creating jobs. And I can tell you one thing, if you look at our construction jobs right now, because we're building more plants, factories, things that really have something to do with the AI, but also car factories, car plants, they're moving into our country. Honda just announced, Toyota just announced they're moving their operations from Mexico, from Canada, from other places. We, by the way, probably have a deal with Canada. You probably saw that. We very major tariffs were going on to Canada today. We delayed it for 3 days because I think we have a deal with the Prime Minister and good deal for everybody. So that's good. But the construction jobs are enormous. We're building the biggest plants anywhere in the world. And I can say if I were the mayor of a town or the governor of a state, and I had a chance to get a big plant in, an AI plant or a data center, I would absolutely want it because the jobs are enormous and the money paid, the taxes paid are just enormous. And if you don't take it, you're going to be left behind because there are plenty of places that want it. So I would say that maybe it can use a little public relations help. But if I were a governor or mayor, I would want that plant in my community. And many of them are designed in a very beautiful way. It's really very positive. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so they better think twice before they turn their nose up at the data centers. And here's another clip from the, whoa, wait a second. What was that? We was talking about cryptocurrency. Oh, daggone it. Wait a second, I gotta go get that clip. He's talking about cryptocurrency. It's a short clip. He's not going to let the central banks you know, this is important because whether we like it or not, we're going to be dealing with cryptocurrency. And if it's tied to gold, it's fine with me. Okay? Somehow. because that's it, man. It's what it's always been. Not paper. What did Andrew Jackson call it? Rag money, paper money. But anyway, here we go.
They have been able to. I signed a historic executive order banning any attempt to create a central bank digital currency. We launched Project Crypto to modernize rules so that our financial markets can move into blockchain technology. I established the United States Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, making Bitcoin a permanent asset of the United States Treasury, which has turned out incredibly well. I also created the United States Digital Asset Stockpile to hold custody of all other digital assets, and that's exactly what it's done. It's been amazing. 1 year ago this summer.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren, she wanted that international crypto crap, whatever hell. Yeah, that's right, KNS. Mail-in ballots screwed up Oregon and a lot of other places. But since Bam brought it up, I will put this up. Kind of late in the broadcast, but I'll put it up. I was going to save it for another talk. Hamas could disarm within 30 days, says Kushner. He's not really saying Israel can take them over. Disarming a state within a state. Donald Trump's son-in-law suggested Hamas could begin handing over its weapons within a month, following a meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu. Jared Kushner met with the Israeli Prime Minister in Jerusalem alongside Sir Tony Blair after Israel publicly rejected Mr. Trump's plan to bring peace to Gaza. So, well, they're going to have to disarm or get wiped out, one or the other. I thank you, Hebrew Hammer. How you doing? Nice to see you. Thank you for going by buy me a coffee. I appreciate it. So anyway, folks, let's see. Let me see what this is. Disney ABC sues FCC claiming Jimmy Kimmel was targeted for retaliation. There's a big story I could do half a show on, which is CNN throwing a wrench in the works, or trying to, for the Paramount, Warner Brothers and Paramount, okay? And Eisner announced that they're pulling out of Hollywood. Hollywood's going to be dead as a doorknob. Now, I don't know why they say Disney ABC, but I guess they're letting people know that Disney owns ABC, right? And that's The View, all right, The View. And Trump already won a lawsuit against ABC and George Slopadopoulos. But anyway, I'll play this clip. And is Warner Brothers and Paramount, big studios like that, going to pull up and leave California? Eisner, what was his name? Anyway, I got an article. I'll show you another broadcast where he said, California sucks for doing business. We're out of here. All right. And yes, Spam, I agree. We all agree. Dual citizenship is not the American way, okay? You're either American or you're not. So anyway, folks, I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. And I put in the link as it closes out. I might even put my postage stamp up for Buy Me a Coffee. I appreciate your help, like Hebrew Hammer and everybody else that helped out. Younger Gang and Wayne. Yeah, Kimmel sucks, period. He's on vacation. Rosie's standing there for him. But anyway, folks, so anyway, we'll see what happens with this. They're going to sue the FCC. So anyway, folks, I'm going to go live tomorrow night, Lord willing. But remember all the threads we talked about this evening. Things are coming together, okay? Like with North Korea and Russia banding together, putting pressure on Kiev, all the investigations we got domestically, all the investigations are going on around the world, Ukraine. And I think the noose is tightening. And I think Trump is feeling really good, really good. And that makes me feel good. So anyway, folks, enjoy this clip. I hope you all have a great evening. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Yeah, some breaking news coming in here. Disney has just filed a lawsuit against the FCC over what they call the Trump administration's retaliatory campaign against ABC. Brian Stelter has much more on this. Brian, what's going on here?
This is one of the stiffest challenges I've seen from any American media company against the Trump administration during Trump's return to office. The narrative about Trump in the media ever since he returned to power has been about alleged capitulation, about media outlets trying to cozy up to the president, about media outlets maybe bowing to power in limited ways. Well, we're seeing the opposite right now from Disney, one of the biggest media companies on the planet. Disney is going to court this morning, filing a federal lawsuit against the FCC, alleging that Trump's appointees at the FCC are violating Disney's First Amendment rights. Here's a quote from the lawsuit. It says, acting through the FCC, the administration has waged a retaliatory campaign against ABC for a single reason. It disapproves of what ABC broadcasts. Importantly, Disney is saying it's not, looking for a fight. It's not trying to get into a fight with the president. It says it's doing this reluctantly. Quote, we're going to the court reluctantly with no alternative means to eliminate these ongoing and immediate threats other than total capitulation to the administration's demands. So what are the administration's demands? Well, think back to April. There was a controversy about Jimmy Kimmel and a controversial joke that he made on his late night show on ABC. President Trump called for Kimmel to be fired by ABC. The network resisted those pressure campaigns. The FCC that very same week filed what's known as an early renewal for ABC's licenses. It basically ordered ABC to ask the government to renew its licenses several years early. Early license renewal, I think it's a good thing. Well, no, it's a bad thing. It's a very unusual legal challenge, essentially setting ABC up for a years-long battle